Hey, this will be a video chart on CPRK, Copper King Mining Corporation. Wanted to get this updated. Interesting chart going on here, possibly a nice entry. If anything, from a trade setup perspective, we have a nice risk versus reward setup here. What I mean by that is you can get in at a pretty safe spot, and if it goes down, then you'll know to get out at very minimal risk. But if it decides to bounce, you can head up real quick. I'll just for an example. So right here at this gap close spot is a key little support. So what you could do is try to enter in right around here, and let's say you put your stop loss in just slightly below the support level. So here this box represents your risk, not too much. But let's say it decides to head back up here after you get in and test this previous high. Well, then your reward would be this whole amount right here. So as you can see, your risk that you'd be willing to take a little small position on first, your reward is very different. So you can minimize your loss here or potentially get a big one. And what's great about these sorts of trades is you could lose 7 of these where you get in, it goes down, and you get out. But then if you get 3 winners, you come out ahead in the overall thing. So that's what I like about these is you don't have to have high accuracy. You can maybe have a 20 to 30% accuracy rating, but on the ones you do win, they just so heavily outweigh the losses that you take on all the small ones that in the wash you come out ahead. So that's why I like this chart and the potentially nice trade setup. So with that being said, the key support right now is going to be at this gap close, and the price did an excellent job. So for the players that hopped in on the gap close yesterday, they saw they got the bounce today, so a very nice play for them, and congratulations to those players. But the really kind of main support level, so this kind of is going back to daily chart players, is going to be this level over here. This had been a very important resistance level to get above, and you can see when it did get above it on this day here, the big move came, is at the low of this candle, which is at 0.0023. So what I'm going to do is make this a little thicker to represent that this support level is pretty important, and it's one of these where you don't want to see it fall, because if it does, then my opinion is it's going to head all the way back down here and retest these lows, and then obviously if it breaks through those lows, it's just going to be a whole nother leg to the downside. But right now the chart's looking promising. It's just a matter of making sure that these support levels can hold on the pullback. We also have the 50-day simple moving average here, this purple line, which has been doing a good job of acting as support, so that's refreshing to see. But in my opinion, this level right here is going to be the key that you want to see hold up if this pullback continues. Now, in terms of resistance levels, really the key one is just going to be kind of 2 options. You can just draw it over like that, or you can bring it down a little bit and call it a little slight downtrend line there. That's kind of what I want to do. It's essentially the same thing, but because we did have a high, this high wasn't quite as high as this one. So we have a little slight downtrend line here, but if anything, and this level breaks, then it'd be a pretty big breakout, I think, possibly even to get up here to test the 200-day. But one step at a time, we got to make sure that we go through a nice healthy consolidation, and once again, healthy meaning staying above this line here. And if that can happen, get another volume surge, and I really like the chances of it possibly breaking out of this little trend line here. But we'll have to see what happens. Today was a nice day. It was green. You had volume increasing on it, so this volume was bigger than the pullback volume. And also on that note, great example here of what you want to see from a volume analysis standpoint. So on these 2 days, you can see volume was increasing, and on this really big day, check out how big that volume was. The next day, where we had it finally peak out and pull back, notice that volume was less than the breakout day. The next pullback day, notice that volume was even more less. The next red day, volume dropped off again, and then today we saw it increase. So that's exactly what you want to see. You don't want to see increasing volume when the price is pulling back, but that was, as we pointed out, not the case here. Each and every day the volume dropped lower and lower, and that's what we want to see. So overall, the chart's holding up so far. Will that continue going forward? I have no idea, but I do know exactly how to measure it, and it's simply by checking out these support levels and keeping an eye on those. So if these hold, then the chart's going to remain intact, and this uptrend that it's started to establish will stay strong, and maybe we'll see some new highs. So overall, I definitely think it's worth checking out, and if you decide to hop in, just remember to honor your stop losses and keep the risk versus reward ratio on your side. there are any other questions on the chart, please let me know. If not, I'd encourage you to check out bullwarriorstocks.com. If you go there and sign up for the free newsletter, you will be sent a free ebook. And then with your newsletter subscription, you'll get chart setups, trade ideas, educational pieces, all sorts of things from penny stocks up to big boards. So there's a good variety, something for everybody. It's all free. We've been making some good money together. So I'd encourage you to check it out, sign up, and see what everything's about. One last time, this was CPRK. Thanks for listening.